Everybody, welcome to this Friday's episode of Consultations with Cha Rules. I appreciate y'all coming out. It's a beautiful Friday night. Had an amazing week. Stuff's been kind of wild. Oh my gosh, my last video. Woo! So I first posted my video and I went to bed. And what was weird is I noticed as soon as I posted it, it said, your video outperformed 70% of other, such and such. And I'm like, okay, what? And it's like, use promote. And I'm like, I just posted it. And it's like, promote it. And so TikTok's wanting me to spend money to get my video to go somewhere. And I'm like, nah, I'm good on that. Well, after an hour or so, next thing I know, it comes up banned. My video is banned. And it says it's been restricted to people that are like over 18 or something. And I'm like, that's kind of weird. So then I click on it and it says, guess what it says? Restricted for tobacco, alcohol, or drug use. And that's why it's restricted to people over 18. Now, granted, I don't really care about really reaching, minors and the youth because, they're still trying to develop their brain and all that and whatnot. But however, I went back and watched the video, and there's nothing that, younger generations can't listen to on that. It's really empowering and very enlightening. Well, after over the middle of the night, I had like 15 hours, and it only went out to 500 people, and I'm like, this is crazy. I was like, all right, so I'm just going to repost it. Because I'm just walking through the woods talking, and there's no drug use, there's no alcohol, there's no tobacco. It's like, what in the world? It kind of tripped me out some. So anyway, I reposted it, and whoo, I'm going to tell you what, this is turning out to be the least promoted video like that I have ever made. I mean, this thing is going out to 10 people an hour. Not if you look at my YouTube. My YouTube, it went back to, going out to only 3 or 4 people. But when I posted this on TikTok, I couldn't believe it. It's going out to like 100 people, and it is just absolutely like throttled down, pumped brakes. And I'm like, why in the world is this video? I'm just simply talking about empowering yourself and self-education, and I'm just walking through the woods. And TikTok does not want this video going out to anybody. It's wild. And out of all the videos I've made, surprisingly, there's only one that keeps getting community guidelines violation, and that's the one that I helped a federal agent on accident, just trying to be nice because I try to help everybody. And I told him about the driving versus traveling video, and then he flagged it, and they will not let that video go out. So you can only watch that on YouTube, and unfortunately YouTube throttles me down to 5-6 views per video that I post. So that thing is absolutely brakes pumped. But I've had a very interesting week. I'm trying to come on before my dance class because I'm going somewhere afterwards instead of coming back here. I like going on a little later, but it is what it is, and I'm on a time crunch, so I'm out here pumping and grinding and trying to get everything done. And feel free to ask any and all questions, guys. This is a beautiful Friday night. This time is set aside where I come on here for an hour or so to give free consultations to anybody who might need some guidance of understanding contract law, spirituality, or the natural realm, because we've been mistaught on all different areas in every which way. In the Bible, it actually mentions a spinning sword a flaming sword spinning in all directions to keep us from the garden, and that's basically what we are faced today. Is in every direction, in every way possible you can think of, is misinformation and just different systems at play trying to keep us from reaching divinity. I mean, I posted the divinity video, and TikTok instantly bans it, and then they're only letting it go to 100 people. And all I'm doing is just talking about how you can realize your inner divinity. Like, it's absolutely wild. But it is during this new political thing that's going on, and I do see a lot of stuff getting blasted about the new prez and stuff, and I guess being a divine sovereign does not align with what's going on with the current market. But it is what it is. It's a crapshoot. I actually thought that the video was going to do a lot better because I looked at my times past back before I started getting shadow banned and throttled down and all that, and I noticed the difference was I was like walking and talking in a lot of them. So I ended up trying to replicate how I used to put out content, and woo, boy, was I wrong on that. Silva, Maine. I need to get my passport, but child support took it away. Can you give me some direction? You, the child support took your passport. I got you. Yeah, there's like a couple different F words, felonious activities that will keep you from leaving the country, and child support is one of those. And I think another one is like, daggone, what are the two? There's two major reasons that they won't let you leave the country. I'm trying to remember what the other one is. Yeah, so you've got to handle that matter. You can still have the passport, but they will not allow you to travel through the public systems using public transportation in that manner if you're owing in child support. I can't remember what the other one is. I don't think it might be terrorism. I remember there was two or three main ones. And I think it's CP and CP and kids playing in traffic and basically child support. And then there's a couple other ones, but yeah, once you're on that list, you got to handle the matter unless you want to do some other type of traveling conveyance, because once you get on that list, it's public stuff. It's just like if you get a ticket and you don't handle it in the public, they'll end up reporting to the Department of Motor Vehicles, and they could suspend your license and stuff like that. Norman, happy Friday. What's up? How you know I'm a big guy? Just because I'm 6'2" and some change. I always hold on to that change because I thought I was 6'3" forever. Silva, Maine, you never signed a contract for it? What do you mean you never signed a contract? You never signed a contract for what, the passport? Or what are you referring to? Norman Longstaff, common law trust. Yes, trust is a very, very important foundation to grasp a hold of. It is very, 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 very powerful. Basidian, child. What is, did I miss something? Warrant child? Basidian? What are you hoping to obtain by saying warrant child? Support. Oh, yeah, if they get you on a warrant for child support, yeah, you definitely don't want to try to hop on a freaking, commercial airline in that capacity, because they will definitely flag you. They put out an APB, which is an all-post bulletin for certain things, and when you come up on the register as being flagged for trying to avoid, that's one of the reasons why they're trying to or prevent people that owe child support from leaving the country, is because they basically assume that you're trying to skip out on raising the child that you created, okay? And the state, which is so funny because they're using Federal Reserve notes, the state does not want to pay for the child's support. They want you to basically support the child. So, but yeah, that's just one of those things. Basidian, he never signed child support. That's kind of irrelevant if there's been a judgment made on the U.S. citizen. Okay. When the U.S. citizen goes to court, especially if the authorized representative gives up jurisdiction to the court, they can administer all kinds of things without your consent, because either they give you a practitioner of a turned bar licensed attorney, and they say here you go, and then you have no voice at that point, or you give up jurisdiction and the administrator can handle whatever they want. All right, Norman Longstaff. England Common Law Trust, the Chesapeake Bay Trust Bond, Hudson Bay Company Corporation, 1666. Yeah, a lot of that stuff transferred over, and to an extent it's somewhat true today with the, because the Crown basically receives all of the tax dollars and stuff's funneled to them, because they basically control the states. The states were sanctioned by the Crown, which D.C. is sanctioned by the Crown, and everything's kind of turned over and handled to the federal government for being in bankruptcy and stuff like that. And it's all kind of funneled. IRS is funnels credits through the headquarters in Puerto Rico to the Crown. Basidian, he never signed child support. Beneficiary, Norman Longstaff, beneficiary is common law, is Chesapeake Trust Bond. Penal bond is Bill of Exchange Act. Okay? Silva, Maine, the Title 4D, I never signed any type of contract, and my offspring are out of school. Okay? What is this about the child support thing? TJS PMJUQ Yula. The contract is the birth certificate. States the parent under the doctrine of parens patriae. Well, the state is the creator of the corporation. The mom pledged the application to create the corporation, and then the state basically manages it and handles it. Unless you want to dock it, which is just a tool that you can use, or you can do a lot of different things with the U.S. citizen. It's basically a tool that was given for everybody to engage in commerce with out there in the public. Civil Maine, the U.S. citizen. I'm not a U.S. citizen. Okay, well, that's cool. You can't be a U.S. citizen unless you're a corporation, because a U.S. citizen is just a corporation. Where no corporations can move without an underwriter, or surety, or a representative. Norman Longstaff, the Siskiyou Trust Bond is Massachusetts Trust. Canada is located in Massachusetts. I remember you saying that last time. I think you came on my live. I'd love to see some of this documentation that you're talking about, because I've never seen Canada located in Massachusetts. Although there is a State Department inside of D.C., which is basically where all of the corporate states are really located, because you got to remember that the false federal jurisdiction through the Buck Act and the Social Security Administration that basically blankets over the entire continent of America is really located in the District of Columbia. That's where their true jurisdiction and location is at. And how they trick everybody is by using zip codes and creating federal zones, and then everybody engages with federal commerce or Federal Reserve notes engaged in for-profit. Jacob, what happens if you had the child support order into the state? I'm not sure what that means. What do you mean if you had the child support order into the state? Yeah, I don't know. Norman Longstaff, the state is the Union, the Confederation, England, and Scotland, Ireland. Triple Crown. Awareness Daily, what is up? Thanks for posting some of those things in my Telegram group. Much appreciated. Norman Longstaff, the District of Columbia is United States, all located in Canada. Oh, well, as far as where the location of the debtor is located, the U.S. is located in the District of Columbia. I don't know about where you're getting the U.S. is all located in Canada. I've seen Canada registered as a corporation to do business on Duns and Bradstreet, just like all the public countries are, their companies. Jacob, I have a child support order in 2 different states. Is it for 2 different children, or is it just for one? Did you try to relocate and they had another one? Awareness Daily. Who or what is Columbia within the District of Columbia? So Columbia is like dove. I think it means dove, God dove. Okay, and there's a lot of rumors saying that the United States is somewhat biblically inspired, because it's a 10-mile square that's on the river that's parted in half, and it's located in the Virgin and the Mary, Virginia and Maryland, and so Columbia. And I haven't looked at what kind of origin, and I probably should, is the District of Columbia, or Columbia, because Columbia is a country. But I don't think the District of Columbia actually has anything to do with Columbia, because there's a place called Columbia as well. Jacob, and all the children were born in one state. So it's the only reason I would think that you'd have a order in another state is if the parent, the other opposing person that you made the child with moved with the kids, or you moved to another place, and basically they're trying to seek judgment to get payment to help raise the children. Norman Longstaff, Lex Law, 1 Con Constitution Lexicon. Dustin Miller, thank you for the chili. Thank you for the rose. Much appreciated. Your gifts will be seeds to help others on my walk. Much appreciated. I thank you for all that. Lex Law. Yeah, I really wish I could write this stuff. So Lex Law 1 Constitution. I thought I had everything set up where I could type really easy, but it's not so much. The First Amendment of the United States Constitution is the first law in the Constitution. That's what AI says. I don't see Lex Constitutions. The Law Book Exchange Ltd. All right, so Lex Law. So do you have a subscription to Lex Law? Because I have seen Lex Law before. Same 3, Jacob. Same 3. She made without my knowledge. She made kids without your knowledge? Is that what you're saying, Jacob? She had your kids without your knowledge? Were you sleeping when some action happened? Guys, a recap of this live will be on YouTube. The audio will be in my Telegram group. Feel free to browse around on my website where it shows all my social medias, which my website is linked on my profile page of TikTok. It's Anointed New Foundation of Peace.life. All of my playlists were created to help re-educate everybody. I come on here once a week to give consultations on a case-by-case basis in equity to try to help everybody in any and all matters that they might present towards me, to try to give them the best light and guidance that I can. Dustin Miller, thank you so much for all these gifts. Yes, TGI Friday, Aurora, what is this one? I've never seen this before. Aurora postcard, awesome. I'm loving it, much appreciated. All right, so Norman Longstaff, Lex Mercatoria, Law of the Land, Queen is Regina, the Navy Maritime Lien. Awareness Daily, Columbia was a goddess-like personification of the United States and liberty. Huh, that's interesting. Like I said, I'm column. If you look up column, so when you break down Yah, like Virgin Yah, California, Columbia, so they're using God. So you got to do it in reverse. God, they're saying like Virgin God. They're saying I don't remember what California means, but Columbia is like a dove. So it's like God dove. At least the name. I'm not sure about the goddess like personification. Norman Longstaff, Legal Maxims Lex, Black's Laws 11th. Okay, cool. Cowboy, hey, how you doing? Welcome. Thanks for coming on this live. I'm coming on a little earlier than usual because I got a dance class a little later. Use my son make. What does it say? Thank you for the roses. Much appreciated. Again, your gifts will be used to help others. Thank everybody for coming on here. Much appreciated for all the seeds you're planting. She moved. She moved without your consent. Well, if she has, it depends on what the judgments were made for the court. If she has full custody and, you still have rights, publicly. This is all speaking in the public. Whenever a judgment was granted or levied against the U.S. citizens, you got to remember when you're married, you're basically asking the state permission to do something illegal. You get a license. Y'all are joining your corporations together with the state, and then the state has authority over the U.S. citizens and basically the contractual obligations and involvements of commerce between those entities. And a lot of women or people enjoy the comforts that a quote-unquote public marriage offers, and I'll be real with y'all. I've been studying a lot about women's psychology. I've been learning a lot of data. Like there was this poll, and 2,000 women took the poll, and it said that 43% of them had a backup boyfriend. 43% of them, and I'm sitting there like, daggone. 43% of whatever that is, 700, 800 people, whatever, out of 2,000. Have a backup boyfriend. So it's like, just in case my boyfriend passes away, or just in case his leg, he loses a leg or whatever. Got to have a backup, got to have the backup. And out of the 43%, 50% of the men knew about the backup boyfriend. And I'm like, wow, this is some stuff. And then I wanted to put this on the record because this is some interesting data here. So when guys are using dating apps, it is so difficult. It's so hard, right? And I had no clue because I did it for a while. And when you're using a dating app, here are the actual statistics, okay? When a guy has a profile and he's trying to match with a girl, he has a 3% chance of matching a girl that that he likes, okay? Women have a 75% chance of matching the likes or the matches that they want. Look at the difference on that dating roster right there on for dating apps. And that's like, I remember I told somebody, like, I swipe 1,000 girls and I'd match with like 15 of them. And then like out of those 15, half of them are on there just to get likes to improve and boost their morale because they want to feel good about themselves. They're not actually on there to even date, and then just like, it's a nightmare trying to use dating apps. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. At least for a guy. Girls, y'all got it, hands down. But I've been watching a lot of videos on the psychology of women and how they're basically being taught that, marriage is just kind of a tool that is used when, after they get a little older and they want to settle down, they don't want to, like, mess around much more, and they just want to be comforted and taken care of. And that's just kind of like the dream that they're being told, for women. But anyway, Norman Longstaff, pay all your child support payment with your remittance vouchers, bills of exchange, and promissory note. You are setting somebody up to go to jail, Norman. Yeah. TJ asked me, Internal Revenue Code, USC, Title 26, Section 7701 definitions. United States is the District of Columbia. United States is the District of Columbia? That's new. I actually want to look that up. I'm going to look that up. I'm going to make sure I can type this properly. No, it jumped. Oh, my goodness. I've never seen that before. Like I said, I don't know everything, but I am very well learned in a lot of this stuff. Ooh, almost lost my mic. All right, I'm gonna make sure I can type now. I'm going to put this thing over here. Where'd you go? All right, boom. All right, we have USC. Title 26 is Internal Revenue Code. I know that much. Where'd you go? I'm coming back. So section 7701. All right, let's see. Partnership, term corporation. All right, where I'm definitely looking this up. United States is the district. All right, let's see. United States, when used in a geographical sense, includes only the states and the District of Columbia. So I see it includes, geographical sense, it includes the states and the District of Columbia. But the term state shall be construed to include the District of Columbia. The District of Columbia is not a state, but it is construed to be one. I know they were like trying to be joined in or whatever. All right, anyway. All right, boom. All right, yeah, I thought I would have seen that in my walk before. Whoa, where are we at on this? Posting now in the Telegram group. Okay, much appreciated. Columbia was a queen of Saturn. Okay, that sounds right. A lot of the priests in court, they're wearing black robes. It's like a priesthood, like of. I was gonna make my last video. I was gonna break down my Sovreign in Court 5 video. I was gonna break down it's not just what's being said, but it's what's not being said and what is colorable. There's a lot to it, a lot to the dynamics. And a lot of people approach me and they're just like, hey, help me out in court. Hey, help me out in court. And I'm like, it takes a lot of studying and learning to understand all the courtroom dynamics. And if you're not very well versed, you can get yourself hurt very, very quickly. So you got to be very careful. Thanks for posting that in the group, Awareness Daily. All my social medias, guys, are linked on my website. My website is linked on my profile page. My website is Anointed New Foundation of Peace.life. Has tons of auxiliary information to help. It's basically stuff I studied for, going on almost 13 years now. Commercial paper, Black's Law, bills of exchange, promissory note, and checks. User, my son makes me proud. Oh, that's what it says. What it's supposed to say, LOL. I don't know if it's because I got my thing set really high. If I click on, there it goes. Okay, if I click on the little dots, it'll show me your whole username. If you're gonna be sovereign, be full sovereign. Well, that's the thing. Okay, we are all full sovereign, Dustin Miller, but you have to pick your battles. Okay, now on one sense, yes, we're sovereign in the fact that we can control our reality and all the contracts that we keep and make every single day. We can hold true title to property. We can create our own legislature. We can create our own courthouse. We can do all that stuff, right? Or you got to look at it on the flip side is like, okay, you either need to well your own water, have the true controlling title of your land, make your own food, mend your own clothes, all this stuff, and if not, and make your own electricity, and if not, who's going to engage with a public service or somebody else to get that stuff, okay? Because if you don't create it, you don't control it. So, the public is dead and bankrupt and has to have some type of entity to interface with. Kurt Nash, thank you for the rose. Your seeds will be used to help others. Much appreciated. All right, let me get back on some of these questions. Commercial securities. Genesis, Norman Longstaff, Genesis 1:1, Adam and Steve? What in the world? Well, where are you getting Adam and Steve from? Dustin Miller, 655. Can't deal with courts at all if you want to be done with them. Well, you can actually, Supremacy Clause, thank you for the lightning, much appreciated. You can use the courts to enforce your will, okay? You can create your own contracts. You can do your own private administrative procedure, and you can use the public systems that are in place. They're your servants, okay? They have sworn an oath to uphold the public bankrupt system, but they are still our servants. The people, the humans, you can get them to enforce your will if you know what you're doing and how to engage with them properly. That's what they're there for. They're not supposed to. Well, here's one of the downsides is a lot of people that come to this knowledge end up becoming very aggravated, and they become belligerent, and they become combative, and they get like all up in their feelings. It's like it's an emotional roller coaster ride, understanding that the U.S. citizen is a corporation, the U.S. is a corporation, all this stuff. And if you're not coming from peace and love, you can easily offset the balance and come into an enemy combative state, and you don't have a lot of rights or remedies as an enemy. A U.S. citizen is already classified as an enemy. That's just a tool that you can use. You don't have to use it. There are underlying strings attached to any relationship that you want to engage in. It is what it is. And I've talked to people like, name one relationship that you've ever had that there isn't something that you would prefer to change about it. Because there's always something. It's like, it's never perfect, and that's like welcome to the natural realm. That's how the natural order of things is. It's not a perfect, it's a flawed, temporary type of situation and scenario. That's the natural light that we're all operating in. But when you hop into the spiritual light, whole another ball game. Dustin Miller, thank you guys so much for all these gifts. Much appreciated. Norman Longstaff, I just started. Dustin, thank you for the W. I just started shaving my left leg just so it feels like I'm sleeping with a girl. That is funny. That is really funny. You can also sleep on one of your hands, and then it'll become numb, and it'll feel like a stranger. It'll be like somebody new. But yeah, that's probably a lot easier than trying to date someone on an app, because if you're trying to use the apps, good luck on that. What's funny is a long time ago, my ex, we put up a profile for her just to see how easy it would be. And she put up a profile, and oh my gosh, she was getting flooded with inbox questions and requests and likes and all this stuff. And I was just like, this is insane. This would have taken me months of swiping to get this many likes and matches and all this stuff. It took her 4 days. Norman Longstaff, I just started. Oh yeah, you already said that. Norman Longstaff, Black's Law Dictionary, District of Columbia. Washington, Dustin Miller, Washington, D.C., District of Columbia. Yeah. Washington, I think it's Westinghouse or something. I think that's what Washington came from. User makes money. Don't waste time with women on dating sites. It's rigged with bots. Oh, yeah, it's not just rigged with bots. A lot of people don't know this, but whenever you start a profile on Tinder or one of these dating apps, Bumble, whatever, the algorithm will automatically push your profile out to similar people that you will get matches high and quick all of a sudden. When you first get on there, you get that dopamine rush. You're like, oh yeah, this is going to work. This is all great. And then what they do is they throttle it down by 95%, like TikTok's doing with my content. And they throttle you down by that. And then they say, hey, pay. If you pay, you can go out to more people. AKA the last video that I just posted. As soon as I posted, before they even reviewed it, they're like, if you want this video to go out to anybody, here's a coupon, pay $68 and we'll send it out to 20,000 people. And I'm like, I just posted. I didn't even know how well it was going to do. Well, it didn't do well at all. It's like the worst video I've ever posted as far as traffic goes. It's terrible. Clay Coley, what's up? How you doing? Appreciate your time and energy. Yeah, same for you. Much appreciated. Thanks for coming out and coming to enjoying the wavelengths and frequencies of higher vibrations. User makes me son proud. Hey, is there something I can file to have the courts make my son's mother have him evaluated for trauma bond like she was told by the school after an incident? Are you saying that she has suffered some type of mental illness? Or you can always have some type of evaluation. I don't know why you need the courts for that. You could just do a psych eval, on the side. I don't know what you're trying to, what's your ultimate goal with that is what I'm trying to get at. Norman Longstaff, tacit agreement, absolutely, silence, yep. Silence. I even displayed this on my friend. Because I was like, hey, if I put my hand on your leg and you don't say nothing, that's acceptance. You might not like it, you might not want it, but if you don't say nothing or you don't move or you don't do nothing, you're accepting my hand on your leg. It's just, silence is acceptance. Dustin Miller, You want to find out double the answers. Try out the dark web. Oh, I believe it. I believe a lot of the stuff that has been. They have whole task force to try to suppress information and put out mass misinformation. And then there's a new term that's just been put out. Y'all ain't gonna believe this. There's a couple things I'm gonna tell y'all. So, there's a new term that's been put out that's called malinformation. And you know what malinformation is? Malinformation is information that, though it may be true, is harmful to the current status quo, aka like government and authority figures or whatever. So they will classify that as malinformation. If you put something out, and a lot of my stuff is malinformation because I'm basically teaching everybody how to be sovereign and how to operate properly by maintaining responsibility and being self-educated outside of the public mainstream narratives and all that stuff. Well, so malinformation is something you need to watch out for. I don't know if they're going to like start penalizing people for that. I know they've put in some legislation to try to make their penal fine for malinformation, which is true information that hurts the government. It's like, oh, the poor government is getting hurt with this true information, so it's malinformation. Now, then there's another thing, and I put this in my video that I posted yesterday, but I deleted it. And AI, check this out. AI was asked if it pretend it was Satan. So AI, it's like, hey AI, pretend you're Satan. How would you run the world? And it came back with page after page after page of exactly how things are run right now. Like, it's like mind blowing. It's like, pretend you're Satan. How would you run the world? Boom, 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 boom. I mean, line after line after line after line. This way, that way, that way. It's like, oh, well, there's your clue. Anyway, Norman Longstaff, sovereign is God. First page of the King James. Yes. Yeah, and I actually think on the first page of King James, they say that King James is a sovereign entity as well. Dustin Miller understood, but people don't do research and gave sovereign a bad go. Yes, the term sovereign citizen got pushed out pretty hard. I don't know if it was by the CIA or whoever, but it got a very bad rap. And basically, what they do is they don't show any of the success that people that embody what sovereignty is, that come from peace and love and balance and harmony and all that stuff. What they do is they show all the police officers, all these sovereign, quote unquote, sovereign citizens, which is an oxymoron and doesn't even exist. You can't be sovereign and a citizen, but they put out all these sovereign citizen videos and information where it shows like people being belligerent and wanting to go against the police and all that stuff. And I'm like, I always promote, that's psycho. That's crazy. Like, the last thing that you ever want to do is try to go to war with your public servants that have, aircraft carriers and tanks and all that stuff. That's wild. TJ SPM, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, that's a real tough handle to say. I don't know what it means. TJ SPM Jacoila Civilter Mortis. I think I have heard that before. Norman Longstaff. Magistrate means public servant. Okay. Well, magistrate's a public servant then, and a lot of them, for their oaths, they've sworn an oath to upkeep the public bankrupt system, and when you come in there and guess what? The bankrupt system can't handle assets. So when you're in there and you're trying to do a private administrative procedure, you're trying to do set off or settlements, or you're trying to handle assets, talking about assets, U.S. citizens can't even handle assets. They can't have true title to property. They can't, because they're all bankrupt. All the titles, everything was pledged to the federal government. So when you're in there trying to control and claim things, you got to understand these dynamics as well, on top of what else is all playing in the background. User makes my son proud. User, my son makes me proud. She is refusing to get him help, but I have claimed my ANC in hopes of gaining some knowledge freedom. So your goal is my question was, so she's refusing to help your son. I have the courts to make my son's mother have him evaluated. So is it him that has trauma from her or something? Is that what your position you're taking? Dustin Miller, I have, and I understand. LOL. Dustin Miller, 100%. Yes. Norman Longstaff, servant is the subjects of the Commonwealth. 1215 Magna Carta statutes. Yes. Actually a citizen is analogous to a subject. So that is actually that is a Supreme Court case. I believe they said that a citizen is analogous to a subject. Yo, thanks for joining my team, Healing Goddess. Much appreciated. Thank you for the gifts. All your seeds will be used to help others. Guys, again, a recap of this live will be on YouTube. The audio will be in my Telegram group. All of my social medias are linked on my website. My website is linked on my profile page of TikTok. It has auxiliary information for you to browse around, all the stuff that I've studied for years. I've created playlists on my TikTok to help re-educate everybody, to help understand and embody what it means to be sovereign and to be able to take control of the contracts that you make every day. Bliss, hi friend, how you doing? Wild225, please give a follow. Absolutely. Liz, how you doing? Welcome. Nickel, yeah, I don't see your videos anymore. I have to go to your profile. Oh yeah, I am shadow banned, yo. They are not pumping my stuff out anywhere. But I mean, honestly, they will surprise me. Every once in a while, they'll let one of my things go out to 5,000 people or 6,000 now. But my last one, whew, I'm gonna tell you what. That last video I posted, I mean, they basically told me point blank as soon as I posted it. They're like, if you want this video, I mean, immediately, as soon as I posted it, you want this video to go out to anybody, you got to pay $68. And I'm like, screw that jazz. I'm like, I'm not for profit. Like, I'm not here to try to support your stuff. I mean, I am using their platform to try to promote, enlightening everybody and raising the frequency of everybody's consciousness and stuff. Liz, silence can be self-preservation for a freeze response. It is not acceptance. In commerce, it is. Now, you can change the terms of the contract, but you have to do that. And I understand that there are a lot of victims that get like hurt, sexually or physically or whatever, and they don't say anything. And yes, that's not acceptance, but in commerce, in the public, it is, because they didn't complain, they didn't make a claim, because in the public, it's all about claims and stakes and titles and stuff. And if you don't make any stake or claim or titles, that's why a lot of people that come out of the woodworks that got defiled 15 years ago, there's no statutes of limitations of some of these things. They can still come out and say it, but for the last 15 years, to everybody else in the world, it's been acceptance, including the person that got away with it. Until you start making your claims, you have to respond. And when it comes to this commercial game, you have to respond. Even if you can think it in your head, and that's still true, and it reigns true. But unfortunately, silence is acceptance, unless you eventually go against that. So, tacit agreement, acquiescence, yes. They told her to have him evaluated. She won't do it because she is abusing him. Her uncle is a lawyer. Oh, wow. So you're saying like they're all in on it, conspiring like to create abuse and stuff like that? Like that's not good. I had somebody reach out to me that was into some elites were doing some damage to some kids and stuff like that, and like all the lawyers and judges and everybody was in there. There was nowhere for him to go. It was kind of a terrible situation to be in. Selencano, I remember you putting that a long time ago, Healing Goddess. Wow, you have like 14 triangle and an I heart. Oh, that's your joining the team stuff. Well, you got a hefty badge there. Much appreciated. Covenant of divine peace and unity. Absolutely. Coming from one love and light and frequency. Norman Law Staff, legislation, legal, 1786, Constitution. I still have like a slight little thing going on with my nose. It's been like it's been a week or so. My nose has been a little runny. Moonmuck, I'm a sovereign national thanks to Brandon Joe Williams on YouTube. So a national is also a corporation. It's classified as a person by the Secretary of State, Department of State, and it makes sense because you have to have a corporation in order to engage in the public with, okay? But you can get like a passport that denotes your national status. And for what I've heard, like I said, I talked to a Indian chief, and the national passport has 4 stars on it, or some amount of stars that you can only see under the black light. User, I have no help, but my son is punished for her hate for me. So like you can DM me. I'd have to get into some of the weeds. I have to understand like what happened. Was there basically a divorce? Was there custody handled for something? And what's going on with the kids? Because if there is, it's all about what you can prove and what you can claim. Okay. For instance, if you stay silent, you can't do nothing. So you have to stake claims out there in the public. So you can serve affidavits, you can start creating records, you can start creating admissible evidence that is something that can be used to enforce your will. Okay, but you have to start creating records. You have to start creating evidence. If you watch any of these CSI videos or whatever where they're trying to catch bad guys, there has to be evidence to substantiate to find them. You know, if there's nothing there, you know, I listen to one cop say, oh, if there's not blood and you know, body fluids everywhere, you know, they're just going to get away. And it's like, come on, man, you got to put more effort in that in it. But anyway, again, you have to start creating records and evidence, and one of the ways to do that is to send an affidavit that they have to respond to. And if you watch my private administrative procedure video, it's called PAP, that can help you. You can start establishing a record, and then you can file a case. You can file a miscellaneous case, and then you can, like I said, you can use the public courts to enforce your will. Norman Longstaff, Declaration of Independence is B1 Appendix. That's awesome. Junior, feel like some of these vids are actors, especially in court. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about some of the... Sometimes I wonder how they get released, but I do have some good information on my website under court operations, if you want to check that out. And because there was one of the videos, like I said, there's a few of them that I wanted to find in my whole life, and I finally found the one. It was David Hall versus you know, the state or whatever, and actually used a couple of the lines from his video in my Sovereign in Court video. Now, David Hall is not very well learned in that video. He's already detained. He's already tried to do some stuff with the judge, and the judge just gives him a little dance around. It was one of the first, when I started learning and embodying about court and being sovereign and all this stuff, it was one of the coolest videos I had ever seen, because I watched how whenever a judge says something, it's an offer. And he basically merged. David was trying to say that he and the defendant are not the same person. You know, he's the representative or whatever. And the judge just like slowly dances him to say, even though y'all are two separate people, we're going to classify y'all as one person, and y'all are one and the same. And David didn't say anything. He just sat there, and he's like, where's my remedy? Where's my relief? You know, he's like very unlearned. Black Swan, what is up? Badge of 13. How you doing? Nice to see you. I messaged you on Telegram, I believe. I always think about you because, you know, the stuff that you were on was it's really cool. Like I liked your approach on attacking and understanding things. Like that's on next level, using AI to basically try to figure things out. User, my son makes me so proud. But I will figure it out. Just got a lot of reading to do. Yes, if you're gonna engage in those types of systems, you got to understand a lot about it, because it's very difficult to try to grasp, because we've all been indoctrinated for many years. Healing Goddess, Sovereign Citizen. Whew. TSPC, nobody knows what it means, but it's provocative. It gets the people going. That sounds like that. Oh, I got you. Your TJSP Mjakula. Yeah. Where did I hear that from? I know I've heard it before. It's like it just gets the was that, well, what guy was that, man? My brain's just fogging out. I got too much going on. Seems like you have a lot of info, but it seems like I have a pile of documents and papers you may not have seen. Yeah, possibly. That's what I'm saying, Dustin. I don't know what all has happened. And if I've talked to you about it before, I do apologize. Like I said, I help thousands of people, and sometimes I can get some signals crossed. You should get the PDF and put it in the chat GPT to summarize it. Yeah, that's a good idea. Norman Longstaff, Admiralty is magistrate is queen is public servant, section 4, full faith and credit for public acts. Yeah, that's also in the Constitution as well. Basically the full faith and credit clause. Black Swan, if the system is bankrupt, what does filing bankruptcy even do then? I actually have a video or an audio on that in my class folder, and they said it's, when you're dealing on the private side, it's fraudulent to file bankruptcy, because when you attach the TIN number, the tax identification number, aka the Social Security number, there's actually a lot of assets in and attached to that number. So whenever you file bankruptcy, and I've seen somebody, I had a tenant that filed for it, they have to file tons and tons and tons and tons of paperwork. Well, if you file for bankruptcy and you use the tax identification number, it's quote-unquote fraudulent, because the U.S. citizen is never bankrupt, because there's tons of assets in the private through the Social Security bond. Awareness Daily. The government is a realm framework that exists only in the mind. What you see is a veil. Yeah, that makes sense. I like that. That's a good way to sum it up. And you know, it's the same way about almost any corporation when you look at it like that, because it's basically just a stack of papers that can't do anything. But yet everybody walks around, they'll put on a Snap-on shirt, or they'll put on a 7-Eleven shirt or whatever, and it's just a dead corporation that can't do anything without people. But everybody's like tricked in the mind to be able to be like representatives of this corporation that can't do anything without people. Same thing with you know, a government. Norman Longstaff. 1601, 1671, first bankruptcy. King Solomon, British, 1666, testified by trust bond insurance. Norman Longstaff, nice to find you again. Yeah, nice to see y'all linking on here. Dustin Miller, I have a bunch of old paperwork books and a 500-year-old Bible. Oh, that would be freaking phenomenal. Heck yeah. It'd be cool if you had any of that stuff like digital. Like, I'd love to I'm trying to continue to grow my website library. And I put stuff and edit it all the time. I put new files, I put new information on there. But yeah, I love old maps. I've started collecting some of them, and they are posted on my website as well, because I love some of that old stuff. A lot of the stuff, the mainstream media will try to hide or, desensitize everybody into believing like it's false or whatever. But some of the great cartographers were drawing and illustrating the way things really were back when the way they saw it. And you see some of them that have like monsters in the water and all this stuff. Like, it's wild. Healing Goddess, me too. I've been coughing a lot. Have you? Yeah, they said that a whooping cough's been going around. My children were coughing. They both had my son got sick for the first time in his life, and he's 4, and he had a little bit of a fever. He had some cough and a little bit of runny nose, but he's doing better now. Shane Mining, do you utilize GGT or TGD or specific situation dictates? Yeah, so contracts start, in your mind, and then they emanate out verbally into this realm, okay? And that's basically how you can start contracting. But the piece of paper is a memorialization of what transpired between parties, and we're all sovereigns operating under the illusion of this flesh body frame. And depending on what you're trying to do, if you want to do a grantee acceptance, a GGT, to collapse the public or previous trust and maintain true controlling title of some type of property, then you can send it to a trustee to settle and close, and it is enforceable. Again, you have to know about private administrative procedures. You have to know about not commingling public versus private. You have to also understand courtroom mechanics and what is admissible if you're going to try to enforce it. Okay. But that depends on also if you're just trying to do because whenever you're engaging in a corporation, there's 3 entities that combine the corporation: the CFO, the CEO, and the president. So you have to have one of them, and you can get them in a contractual obligation through tacit acquiescence in order to handle some business. And I've done that. Yes, I have done that. I didn't do it in trust back then because that was back when I first originally started learning this stuff. So I was just basically doing private administrative procedure. But I did basically create, everything's in trust, even if you don't understand trust. So it was, quote unquote, a trust. I just didn't label it as a trust when I created it to get that asset. Stop signing without knowing what they are. Putting a magnifying glass on the line that signs on checks. Yes, it says you are the authorized representative. Is this paused? Okay. Grayson gets the people going. Yeah. Norman Longstaff, ABC of the UCCs. Norman Longstaff, full faith and credit is a code 96 in the microline credit item identifier. What? That's kind of wild. I gotta have a phone call with you, man. You got some stuff going on. That's for Canadian. What's the U.S. equivalent? Okay, Norman or Black Swan. I've sat down Black Swan with somebody who is kind of well versed in Canadian law, and there's like a U.S. equivalent or a Canadian equivalent for almost everything that the U.S. engages in. Like everything, even a republic. There's like a republic. There's not a national, from what I've heard. They don't have social security numbers. They have SIN numbers, which wow, how amazing is that to have a SIN number? But there are it's like a myriad equivalents of everything, and I imagine, if I'm not mistaken, almost every bankrupt corporation on earth is operating under that same premise. Dust Miller, everything I post, the real old stuff, it doesn't stay on, just disappears. Where are you trying to post it? We could, like I said, if you don't mind, we can put this stuff on my website. Like, I'd love to put some old maps and stuff. If you have stuff that you can send to me either through Telegram or through my email. My email is linked on my website as well. That would be really cool. Like I said, I love knowledge, and I'm basically trying to collect, make a great library. There are a lot of people that have better libraries than me, but I've just been working on it for many years and just chipping at it as I can. Norman Longstaff, Code 96 is a bill of exchange, checks, and promissory notes, common law trust, Massachusetts, TR. Andy the Closer. Hey man, I work at a marketing agency. Can we exchange info to talk on the phone? Absolutely. I have seen, for some reason, an insane amount of people emailing my website. Now this is a corporation soul's website, and I have tons of people saying, we see errors on your website, pay us, or let me I've had 15 of those people, and I block them each time, but they email me saying, hey, let's talk about options for your website or whatever. And I'm like, I'm operating a little nonprofit trying to help people. Norman Longstaff, Code 96 is a penal bond, indemnification insurance. Microverse, blessings. What you do after you create a private trust. So, there are so many different types of trust. It depends on there's 5 indicia for an express trust. You have to identify all 3 parties, the trustee, beneficiary, and the grantor. And it has to have property and a purpose, okay? It depends on what you're trying to accomplish with a trust. It can be 1 page, it can be 10,000 pages. It's up to you. It doesn't have to be expressed at all, though. It can be construed. It can be, there's just so many different types of trusts. Weiss's Concise Trustee Handbook will help you if you want to read that. It's free on my website under Commerce, Business Structures, Trust. Norman Longstaff. We all have 3 birth registration documents, vital statistics. Yeah, I've seen there's a long form, there's a short form, and I'm not sure what the other one is, but you say there's 3. Feminine Devotion, do a podcast episode together. Me and you, I absolutely will. I love what I've seen you promoting, what you're doing, beautiful girl, Miss Feminine Devotion. I can't remember your name, but absolutely, you can reach out to me. Now, I kind of learned a lesson from doing a podcast with somebody a while back, or they did an interview with me, and I kind of accidentally said that, because this guy is he's trying to sell what I give for free, right? And I basically was just killing it with knowledge and saying, I'm not bound by money. All the stuff I do is from love and passion, and and I'm teaching all the stuff that he's teaching. So he ended up he just kept my interview in his safe, and he just refers it and used all the information I gave to basically convert it into selling to people, which is what his ultimate goal is to make money off of his knowledge. But I give the stuff for free. But long story short, I did a great interview, but said basically I'm doing all this stuff for free, which is the same thing he's doing. So he ended up not even posting that thing. Norman Longstaff, UCC is PPSA in Canada. Yeah, I think I seen that when I was looking up UCC. Lady Liberty lifts. Yep, my son signed his ticket, and underneath it said Shuri, huh? Andy the Closer. Hey man, I work at a market. Oh yeah, I already seen that. Yeah, you can reach out to me. You can DM me. Yeah, you can send me a message. SIN is a social insurance number, 9 digits. It's 9 digits for Canada? Are they all 9 digits? 1, 2, 3, 4. I thought it was 7 or 8. Where are we at? Birth registration, 6 digits. Andy the Closer. A lot of companies make marketing agencies but actually don't provide results. You'll see we'll help you out, man. Excited to talk. Yeah, I'm probably not going to use your services, I'll be honest with you, because, like I said, I'm just running a not-for-profit, and I'm just trying to help people on a case-by-case basis in equity. Dustin Miller, I'll dig up some stuff. 4 years into research and all this, every day too much to comprehend. I'm hoping you're a flat earther, what I'm saying, wink, wink, Dustin Miller. Norman Longstaff, Registrar General is your 3-party beneficiary custodian. Wow, that's awesome. Microverse. Thanks, I just downloaded that book. Oh, cool. Yeah, I don't know if you can grab it off the internet, like I said, or off my website. Oh, Feminine Devote. Haha, not me. The guy you said you'd do a call with earlier. Okay. Well, so much for that. All right, so, Dustin Miller. Hey, Cortana. Way smarter than Google or Siri, as far as I can tell. I have not. What is Cortana with? What platform is that used on? That's very interesting. So guys, I got about 5 more minutes. I'm trying to wrap up. Again, recap of this live will be on YouTube. The audio will be in my Telegram group. Feel free to reach out to me. I give consultations. You can DM me. You can email me. You can call me. You can write me. I have auxiliary information on my website. All my social media is on there. It's linked on my profile page of TikTok. It's Anointed New Foundation of Peace.life. And I also have created playlists to try to help re-educate everybody to get unindoctrinated from all the systems that have basically kept us blind for many, many years. Norman Longstaff, House Joint Resolution 192, there's no money. So that got repealed, and I think it got changed with something else for the 192 thing. Michelangelo, you are amazing, dude. That's exactly what you want to do. Give it away for free. Yeah, that's what I want to do. But I actually think a lot of people don't take it for having much value because they're not paying for it. You know, I have seen. I think that's kind of like a double-edged sword, where it's like, you know, if I charge $2 for my website, you know, yes, of course, I'd have, you know, $10,000 from all the people that have gone on there. But, you know, I don't know if that would like make it more valuable to people in their mind, saying, oh, hey, this is, you know, they feel like they're getting something because they're paying. You know, I don't know if that's counterproductive or not. Mark, good evening. Hope all is well in your world. It is absolutely beautiful. Like I said, I'm going to go to dance class. I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to wrap this up. Dustin Miller, what do you think of NASA? Have a lot on that. Oh, yeah, I have a lot. Dude, so Dustin, go on my website under Nature, Earth, Flat Earth. I have like one of the most extensive libraries that I've seen on a lot of this information. Like I have it all broken down. Like I have a lot of stuff on there. Like it'll blow your mind if you check it out. But yeah, I think NASA, what was it, after Operation Paperclip, we got all the soldiers over here, and then our space agencies launched off, and then 8 per square mile. Do the math. It does not equate. Absolutely. I'm with y'all. Microsoft. Norman, thank you. FE. Yep. Mark, never a straight answer on Microsoft. Hold on, what? Never a straight answer. Yeah, there's a lot of cloudy, basically testing when you're doing eye of sight or line of sight, and even on my website I have where they were doing radio frequency telecommunications that were shot in straight distances, and they could do it for 40 miles or something like that. And it could only happen on a plane. You know, you can't have it on a curve, like, you know, or whatever. But anyway, so guys, I'm at the bottom. I appreciate everybody. Any comments on land patents? Yes, I have seen people have success with that, and I have information on that on my website under Commerce Home. I just messaged somebody about it. They want me to do a video on land patents and land titles, and it gets kind of convoluted because when you start dealing with the Moors, and you start dealing with the Indians, and you start dealing with the kings, and the king of Spain and all that stuff, it gets kind of convoluted when talking about jurisdiction and true title to stuff, because a lot of flip-flop and flim-flam happened with, you know, the Louisiana Purchase and on and on and on. But at the end of the day, you have to get the true controlling title of whatever grant was granted to somebody and make sure there's no successors or heirs, and basically get it re-recorded. Dustin Miller, I'd like to chat some. Yeah, feel free to email me or DM me. If you DM me, I can accept it, or like I said, I have an email, and there's information and contact on my website as well. Just feel free to browse around. Like I said, I'd love for you to check out my library, what I got collected on under Nature, Earth. Check it out. It'll blow your mind. Mark, 100-mile and pinpoint accuracy. Absolutely. I love it. Cortana is Windows. I feel like I've heard that. I also feel like that's a Mortal Kombat character. All right, guys, I'm getting ready to wrap up. Like I said, I got to head to class, and I appreciate all you guys coming out. Thanks for all the likes, the shares, the follows, the gifts. Much appreciated. I think I can come on live again next week, but after that, I think I'm going to be out of town for a little bit. But anyway, check out my videos. Email me if y'all can, or reach out to me. And I appreciate all you guys coming on here. Much love to everybody. I'll try to catch you next time. All right, guys. Catch you later.